You've spent countless hours in the garage with your dad. Now investing in that old car and working on it with your son reminds you of him. And his legacy lives on. Fund your passion with a low-interest home equity line of credit from Bank of Blue Valley.
Oh, are you missing?
Oh!
Hi, friend. How are you?
Good. Did that surprise you?
Oh, every week for the past 2.5 years, that surprises me when you disappear and then come out.
Yeah, the panel was like, how many shows have you done with Bank of Blue Valley and Burns and Mac? And we're like, I guess a lot. So it's
right.
Well over 100, but we do know that we've had over 500 guests. That's kind of cool.
That's really, really cool. The more I think about it, I'm going to have to go through and know the exact number because you know how I am. But yeah, over 500 guests is really, really cool. How you been?
Got my Bank of Blue Valley on.
Oh, you do. I'm high school representing because school just started. So I'm high school representing our Olathe East Hawks. You know, we got to have a better year. Last year was a tough year for us at Olathe East. So this year we're going to kill it.
Yeah, I always feel like everything ebbs and flows. One of our guests, you were asking about a certain sport and if they were good at it. And there was another sport that's really hot right now, but I feel that's life. That's why we always can have lots of irons in the fire. Because you never know it's going to pop. And speaking of popping, do you want to talk to our audience?
Talk to our audience about who they are and what they're doing and where they're watching us from?
I thought it was segueing for you. It's like, hey, what's popping?
No, I can't. So here's why I'm so surprised. I'm so distracted because I have a green screen behind me because I'm still stuck up here in my bedroom. And so it looks like I have this green halo. I thought I had it set, but it's fine. You know, when you do this show on your own, you never remember to ask for people, and now you're segueing me. So it really threw me off. If I hold my light like this, the halo goes away, but then I can't ever use anything but
is it a blue light?
No.
Meaning there's certain blue lights that give off I think, I don't want to say vitamin D that makes sense, but someone in the audience can chime in, but there are lights that are healthy for you if you can't get out and about.
No, this light's literally just to get the screen away from my back. See, like that. So that's all. Yeah, so we need to know who you are, where you're watching from, what you do. There's so much networking that happens over here in the comments. We hear about business deals all the time, and we're like, we don't even ask for a kickback. I think that's really kind of us. So, all right, well, let's get to our panel. Nobody cares about us.
But real quick, Bank of Blue Valley and Burns McDonnell are hiring. In fact, Burns McDonnell has well over 1,000 open positions. So if you have a friend that maybe isn't that happy with what they have going on, both organizations offer amazing employee benefits. And if you want to Google something, I won't tell you what it is, but a great wealth generator is an ESOP, and Burns McDonnell has one.
Well, and let me tell you a quick story about Bank of Blue Valley. I know that they do some major, huge deals, and we talk about those a lot, especially on our first show of the month, the first show of the month when we have Will Fox on. But yesterday I had a friend whose car just broke down out of nowhere. Nice car, just broke down out of nowhere, and they said it was going to, cost so much. And they told her pretty much she should get a new car. And I introduced her over to Lori at Bank of Blue Valley, and Lori had her approved by the afternoon so she could go get a new car at a really good rate too. So, yeah. So
they do it all.
Those things too. So, all right, Burns McDonnell, Bank of Blue Valley, we love you. Thank you for sponsoring the show. I know you don't care about us, though. You want us to get to the guests. So let's do this. Right?
That's a good segue.
Chill thing today. Let's go, ladies, first. First guest is Amy. Then we got Jessica, Alex, and Jason.
It's a slow fade on the music. We just
I'm all the way down now. Yeah, it doesn't fade out like it's supposed to. Hi, guys. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Hello.
so excited
Great.
to
Thanks
have
for
you
having
guys.
us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Everybody was on time. It's like I don't even know what's going on today. Everything's going too smoothly. So no pressure. All right, let's jump in. Amy, let's start with you. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Amy Washam, and I am the director at Northwest Missouri State University in Kansas City. So our main campus is in Maryville, and I attended there as an undergrad transfer student back in the day of an unknown year we won't talk about. And then after I achieved my bachelor's in industrial psychology, went on to get my MBA while I was on campus, and found the opportunity to work full-time for the university in the capacity of the off-campus programs. So I took that position in outreach at the time because it was back in the days of when the corporate world was seeing a little bit of struggle with the whole Enron, and I really, really didn't want to work for an organization that I couldn't believe in. And I knew I had such a great experience as a student for the university, and first generation student from a very rural, small part of northern Missouri. So I saw the great things that Northwest was doing and wanted to participate and take part in that. And through my outreach roles, moved through the different capacities of off-campus programs, and eventually landed here in KC and worked my way up to director.
So you've been multiple places in between, and but in totality, how long have you been with the university as a whole? And then also, what was your most exciting maybe journey in between those two processes?
Yeah, so I've been with the university for 16 years. So worked, started out as an assistant coordinator, worked through a few coordinator roles. And, I say that this entire time I've worked with dual credit in the high school programming, but at different levels and capacities and off-campus programming, it's also very different. So it sounds like 16 sounds like, how could you do the same thing for so long? But it changes so much. I think right now is like my favorite time, though, because I have the opportunity to really get out of the office and meet people in the community and find ways that we can leverage the university to serve the broader public. And I love listening to figure out what it is that, the people want and need out of an educational partner. So
I'm always impressed with people that stay at their jobs for that long. That's always so impressive. And not only for the person, I think it's very impressive for you, but also for the organization, right? There's not a lot of organizations that can keep somebody tenured that long. So that's very impressive.
And I don't know if anyone else knows any other Bearcats, but there is something that we serve on that main campus that we are fanatical about each other, and we see each other everywhere, and everyone starts screaming and yelling and sharing stories from college. It's so much fun. There's such a fanatical feeling that we all have about the university after we've graduated. So I think that just translates into the employment piece too.
Nice.
I don't know if I was really hungry because you're like, it's something that we serve. And I was like, what do they serve on campus? What food? What is it?
I didn't want to say Kool-Aid, but it kind of is. I don't know.
Kool-Aid,
Something in the water. I don't know.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Yes. Well, I'm so excited. We've never met before. And also that green is that it looks good on camera back there, right? I'm always looking from a marketing eye. So thank you for joining us. All right, Jessica, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Jessica Dalby. So I am an owner of Jessica Dalby Brand Media. I am here in Kansas City by way of Army. I won't put my age, so thank you for saying that. I'm not going to put that either. I did serve the Army, and I'm in the entertainment industry, the entrepreneurship industry, and basically just kind of wanting to be the voice for inspired action to have change, essentially. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and as I said, I did 10 years in the Army and didn't know what Kansas was. Had no clue. I will be very honest. I will be forefront. But then I found out, and here I am in 2015, and now Kansas City is home. And I chose to want to learn more what Kansas City was before even establishing a business. So that way I can further enhance Kansas City. And I do a lot into the entertainment industry, as well as, podcasts, as well as helping entrepreneurs in the mental health space I have a bachelor's of science in psychology with a minor in sociology and an emphasis in research methods and statistics. So,
okay, real quick, do you know Jason? Do you guys know each other, Jessica and Jason?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you for 1 second because I just want everybody to really understand the magic of this show. Nobody ever knows who else is going to be on the show when we plan this. We send a link, people choose the date, and when we get to Jason, you'll see how much because I know Jason, how much like serendipity is right here. You guys are probably gonna be best friends after this, but this always blows my mind when this goes like this. And I got the Brooklyn in you. You still got that. I like that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I pride myself on just my morals, my values, and my integrity. So I really resonated with what she said. You know, it really it hit home. She wanted to where it is home.
On top of raising 4 boys, being in the Army for 18 years, and having multiple careers in between, if you had to talk about what your business does today and how you're growing your business, what do you want the audience to know in terms of, what drives revenue and growth for your business?
I definitely, before touching that, I cannot exclude my 3 daughters. So I have 4 boys, 3 daughters, and 3 grandchildren.
Today, I thought you had 4 boys. I didn't know that 3 daughters.
Today is also my birthday, so yes.
Happy birthday!
But I will put my age out there because people do get shocked when I say I'm a grandma. I'm an early grandmother, so I am 44. But between all of that and getting out of the Army and really focusing on my children, what I wanted people to take from my business is the fact that what I do, I root for the underdog, and I do everything just with my passion, my drive. And so I'm heavy into research. Thus, it makes me want to kind of just push the needle further and break glass ceilings, which is kind of what I'm known for. It's just the sky is the limit. If you give up on yourself, then who else is going to believe in you?
Happy birthday. You doing anything fun for your birthday?
Working. Getting ready to celebrate one of the projects we've been working on under my umbrella company on Saturday, which is our Unified Goals published digital magazine, and it's highlighting the best and the brightest in the creative industry. And the first issue was very intentional for me. So it's on Kansas City. And we'll also have like a small celebration to celebrate them. And
well, thanks for spending your birthday with us. That's pretty cool. We appreciate it. Alex, is it your birthday too? Just kidding. Who are you? What are you? How do you get to Kansas City?
Not today, but thank you guys so much for having me. Glad to be here. Alex Koval, Director of Portfolio Strategy and Execution at Savion Energy, located here in Kansas City. So I'll start with how I got to Kansas City. My dad moved here with Sprint. Moved here when I was 2. Lived in Kansas City my whole life. Aaron, I don't think we can be friends anymore. I went to Olathe South. You got an Olathe East shirt on, so.
We actually can't because Olathe East, like our whole thing is theater, and you guys actually got more Blue Star Awards this year than us because you're starting to creep in on our theater. So I don't know if we can, Alex. I don't know if we can.
Yeah, but my wife went there to East, so I guess for consolation.
Well, I'll be friends with her.
It's all okay, and she's the better half anyhow. But I went to KU, got my undergrad in civil engineering, went on to get my MBA at UMKC full-time, and then I found myself in the renewable energy space, which is where I was trying to get all along. Started in with Tradewin Energy, and we initially did wind and solar and storage development. So easiest thing I can do to describe of what we do is when you're driving out to Western Kansas, out to Denver, all the wind farms out there, our company actually developed but many of those projects that are out there. More and more keep popping up. Ultimately, we got split off into Tradewin and Savion. So I was part of the initial crew at Savion, 52 of us, and we now just do solar and storage, utility scale. So same thing as wind, just for solar and storage. And we are now up to 150 people. We got bought out by Shell Oil and Gas recently. So a lot of exciting times here for us at Savion. And then within that, My role is to help oversee the portfolio of all of our projects. We got about 150 projects, 20 gigawatts worth of projects, which is quite a few projects, and just trying to make sure that we're adequately funding all those projects, tracking all those different projects, putting together our business and capital plan, and getting all the approvals within that. So, super exciting time for us. The IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, just got passed, which is a huge boon to the industry and our company as well. So, super excited for all that's to come, not only at Savion, but more importantly for the renewable energy and clean energy movement coming at us.
All right. Well, first of all, Mitch Case. Mitch Case is like the greatest man on the face of the earth. So anyone that he calls a great guy, I believe is a great guy, right? So he says, "What up, Alex? Great guy with amazing passion." So any of y'all that haven't met Mitch, make sure you meet him too. So that's awesome. And then it is a good time to be in solar right now, right? I don't know anything about it, but it feels like a good time to be in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, quick plug for Mitch. Go out and play basketball with Mitch. Friday mornings out at Hy-Vee Arena, golf Wednesday mornings. Awesome way to network. Our buddy Isaac tore his Achilles, so I've stayed away from the basketball. But on the solar front, no, it truly is the most incredible time to be in it. I feel blessed that there's so many people that have laid the groundwork really to get where we just got last week with all these incentives for the long haul, these incentives to bring manufacturing into the U.S., keep the high-paying jobs in the U.S., and build out solar. I mean, it's an incredible time. So I encourage everybody to come on board Savion, come on board Burns and Mac. Just get on board the solar train because it really is starting to move fast, leave the station because of all those behind us that laid the foundation in the last 20, 30 years.
Do you ever watch any of those RV van life people? They're all starting to put all the solar on top. I'm obsessing with those people.
Yeah, no, they got that. And then they got their little wind turbine up there too. So, when it's at night out, they can still get some power. I saw a lot. I was down in Key West recently, and like all the boats out there had a bunch of solar panels, a bunch of wind turbines. Same thing. Yeah, it's cool how you can go off the grid like that.
Nice.
One good question. One, and then a second question. But one is, now that Shell purchased you, are you your own subsidiary, or do you guys roll up your back office to Shell? And then number two, a lot of people, like the audience, sees that Kansas City outsources barbecue or sports architecture or data or factoring, but a lot of people don't realize that we are an energy hub, and we have a great pool of talent, like a Mitch Case, More Than a Meal, and an Alex, and we have all these amazing engineers that understand how to store data and put it out there. So give us the Shell and your company relationship, and then explain to the audience how we're an energy hub.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first with Shell, so we're a wholly owned subsidiary beneath them. We previously were that underneath Macquarie Capital. So, it works out really well that we don't get, like, as they say, the big yellow hug and totally sucked up into them. We can be nimble and move quickly, but still be able to rely on all their resources and all their amazing intel and know-how. So it's a really great situation for us right now. And everybody thinks, oh, big bad oil and gas. And ultimately, they really are passionate about the renewables. They are making a huge investment in us in renewables across the globe. So it's really exciting to see, as much success as we can have, they're going to be there to back us and others across the globe. Scott, you mind repeating your second question for me?
People understanding that how Kansas City happens to be an energy hub. I mean, The amount of people that know what you and Mitch know of how to store energy and get it out, like designing nuclear power plants and power grids, like it's mind-blowing. Kansas City has so much of that intellectual capital.
Yeah, I mean, we're really lucky. We got Burns and Mac, and since it's a Burns and Mac sponsored podcast, I won't say the other two names, but two huge other big EPC contractors in Kansas City. So, we're really lucky that so many big engineering firms are here that are so tied into this solar movement. Then you got developers like ourselves, Savion, Enel Green Power, which used to own Tradewind. They're still have an office here in Kansas City. So it really is an awesome time to be here, and amazing how many folks we have in the space. And just quick plug, I'm on the board for YPE, Young Professionals in Energy. So anybody out there looking to meet other folks at the different companies and continue this movement forward, please reach out. Happy to get you connected with YPE.
That's awesome.
And for all of our younger viewers, those are great boards to, when you say there's nobody to date out there, those are great boards to join because they're always the professionals that are really looking. For some reason, when I was younger, I was on the Young Professional Board of Legal Aid. I'm in marketing. And there was quite a few people that got married from the board. So just for our younger viewers, a little bit there, right? Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on. We have so many people in common. I can't believe that we haven't met. Also, if the engineering doesn't work out after you cut out those names, marketing might be your next step if you ever want to switch industries. That was impressive. All right, Jason, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
Yeah, so I got to Kansas City in 2010. I was at Missouri State in Springfield. And I met my wife, and she's from Blue Springs, and she got a job at the MS Society. And I was like, well, if I want, and we weren't married at the time, just dating, right? So I was like, I want to be with her. So I guess I'm finding a job in Kansas City. So I got my first teaching job. I've been an educator for 13 years. I taught urban education charter school at Alta Vista, which is now Guadalupe Centers, for 7 years. Now I'm at St. Therese, which is a Catholic school up north in Parkville. I'm a best-selling author in the field of post-traumatic growth. I lost my dad to suicide whenever I was 17. And then I'm really big into sports. I've been coaching basketball and developed a company called 4D Athletes, which teaches life skills, leadership through sports, as well as mental fitness and resilience. So big in those spaces and, making a difference for our kids and building their mental resilience, their mental fitness at younger ages, as well as emotional intelligence to help them become happier, healthier, and more helpful people to themselves and other people.
And you're a veteran as well, correct?
I am not. No.
Oh, why did I think you were?
Nope. I would not.
I think you've done some good work with the veterans or something.
I have with the I've talked to like Luke Wade and some other veterans with the suicide prevention piece of that, some of that kind of thing. I've gave some of my books to veterans, that kind of thing as well. So just because that's a very similar issue with veterans as well, it tends to cross over that way. Yeah.
Cool. Well, now you got another veteran to know now here with Jessica. Go ahead, Scott.
The thing that I selfishly have always wanted to ask you, but I never do it on the phone, is talking about your relationship with Coach Flowers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You explain to the audience about a viral speech he made in 2015. You inspire children and athletes on a daily basis, and it's great to see you partnering with others. So kind of give the audience a little bit of that background in your partnership today.
Yeah, so Jonathan Flowers has a pretty famous YouTube video. It's called I Am a Champion. I think it's got like 24 million views, something like that. And I was introduced to him by a friend of mine. She happens to be Digger Phelps' daughter. Her name is Karen Moyer. And she's like, hey, you know what? What you're doing and what he needs in his life right now, it might work out really well for you all to partner and talk about, things that will really make a difference in using sports as a platform. So I met with him. I looked past the fact that he was a former Raider. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I don't know. We'll see if we can handle that. But as I got to know him, he's a great guy. His cousin is actually Brandon Flowers. I played for the Chiefs for a while. So I was like, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so we put some podcasts together. Like they're on YouTube, Apple, Amazon. They're labeled I Am a Champion. They're on our 40 Athletes YouTube channel. We just have a bunch of different guests, kind of similar to this style of different topics. We go from grief to, there's one about being a champion in sports and marketing. There's one about being a champion father. We talk about how to be a champion in all these different areas of life and just have a sports spin on it.
And then does he come to Kansas City often? And then what is your favorite episode that you've done together?
He hasn't came to Kansas City recently. No, he lives in, Bay Area, California area. But probably one of my favorite one, I would say. So there's a guy named, he goes by Coach Ballgame. It's James Lowe. Look him up. He does Sandlot tours, camps for kids around the country. I actually just went to one last weekend in St. Louis. And he just talked about the importance of why character matters, why, being a great person matters, why, being punctual, being on time, caring about other people, those kind of things. And that's not taught enough younger. Right. So I think for us it's how do we prioritize making people better through sports and not focusing on the scoreboard so much, but winning in the game of life. And that's what we talk about a lot. So, yeah.
All right, I got to show you this. Oh, wow. Love the commitment to move for a girlfriend. Perfect. See? And Lucas is so impressed with our panel today. Lucas, I agree. I've only met one person on this panel before, and I think this is great. Okay, I've real quick, one word answer questions for you before we move on. Favorite sport, least favorite sport?
Favorite sport would be basketball, I would say. Least favorite. Probably soccer. I know it's going to sound like I didn't grow up playing it. I mean, I enjoy going to sporting games, but I don't like know enough about it, I guess, So, and like you play 90 minutes and you tie that, or you might not ever score. Like that's, I don't know. It's a lot of effort. I mean, it's great when you do score, but that's a lot of work to maybe score, but maybe not, or basketball, there's all kinds of, scoring going all the time. So, yeah.
I agree with you on the tie thing. I've always said that, and everyone always looks at me. So I'm like, everyone's always like, Aaron, that's not the point.
Well, Aaron, one quick thing. Whenever I have friends going through a difficult time in business, or like there's going to be a lull, I will tell them to listen to Coach Flowers' speech, and then Bob Seger Against the Wind. I did it for a solid year when my company was like 5-6 years. I was going through a hard time, but I love that speech. I am giddy every time you guys do a show together.
I'm going to have to hear it. I don't think I've heard it. My go-to is Eric Thomas, UOU. And then my go-to movie is The Pursuit of Happiness. I watch it all the time if I'm having. I've watched it so much in the past 3 weeks, guys.
Hey, I will say my go-to show is Ted Lasso. I will say that. So even though one of my favorite show is soccer themed, but just the lessons that are in it's just so good. So.
Awesome. Yeah, this is such a great panel. Okay, who's ready for the Burns and McDonnell question of the day? This is not like most of the business questions we have, but I didn't know anyone on the panel, so I was like, this will be interesting. And actually, I think it might be one of my favorites of all time questions. Okay, as soon as he's done asking it, Amy, just jump into your answer, okay?
Hi, my name is Eric Heidenreich. I'm an engineering recruiter with Burns and McDonnell, looking for the best talent every day. How do you want to be described at your retirement party?
I think I would want to be described as a positive influence in others' lives, those around me. I try to maintain an optimistic, cheerful attitude. So it'd be nice to also hear if I've made a true impact in helping others through their professional or personal growth.
Awesome. All right. First of all, Jessica, before you answer, Karina, I think that's how we say it. She's over here celebrating your birthday. All right. How do you want to be described at your retirement party?
For me, at my retirement party, I would want to be described as the words that my boys use. Mom worked her tail off. She did it with pride. She did it with integrity, and she left it all on the court her way.
I feel like you've had that question before. Have you had that question?
No one's asked me that question at all.
You really, you hit it out of the ballpark on that.
But that's just something, yes, that I would want to be. I would want to be remembered as.
Nice. I do want to say something, because I know that if I don't say this and I get off of here, I will just kick myself in the face. So I'm saying this both to Amy and to Jessica, because you guys both said, I don't know if I should say my age. I think that I'm 42, and I think that you couldn't pay me to be 25 again. I'm so proud of my age. You wouldn't have answered that question like that when you were 25. You wouldn't have answered that question like that when you were 35. You know what I mean? With those years comes all this wisdom. So maybe say your age sometimes. Maybe not all the time, but sometimes. All right, Alex, how about you?
Yeah, 2 tough acts to follow there, but I'd say along the lines of Amy and mine's to leave a lasting and positive impact through 3 different ways. Through my vocation, leaving a lasting and positive impact on the world. That's why I've gotten to renewable energy and so passionate about that, because I think it's something that's really going to make a change. Through impacting people, both my coworkers and those that work around me, that I made an impact on their lives for the better. And then through philanthropy and giving back through work and personally. Those are the 3 ways that I would love to be remembered.
Nice, Alex. All right, Jason, how about you?
That I was really great at the titles that really didn't that never changed. Like, for example, husband, dad, son, uncle, leader, and that I was just great at those things because I feel like so many titles will change throughout your career and that you'll be quickly replaced by somebody else doing something similar, but you can't replace your dad. You can't replace, a lot of those things like being a dad or uncle or all those things. So saying like I was a great, in those areas, the things that people remember the most, that's the ones I like people to talk about. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, a little bit of history, I guess, for our audience. I've never actually met you in person, Jason, but we've had a lot of like a few phone conversations and these digital meetups. And I don't say this lightly, but there's very few people that you can just tell that they take fatherhood like so passionately just from barely knowing them. And you're one of those people that I'm like, gosh, if everyone had a dad like that, this would be a different world, right? So I think you're well on your way to retiring like that.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Hi, Scott. Now you're in the lineup, so you have to answer. How do you want to be remembered at your retirement party?
Connecting others. So all that motivational speaking, everyone figures out what's the why. And I think it's important. Everyone's kind of got that one word or one sentence, what their why is. What do you want people to remember you for, Aaron, at your retirement party? I was going to say funeral.
Well, thank you, Scott. Just killing me out.
I feel like, we all love what we do for work. So I feel like, you know what I mean?
I think that mine is just that anything's possible, right? If you know anything about my story, that you can go from nothing and make yourself, but you got to believe in yourself. And also that I do a lot of work in that space where a lot of times I think we count ourselves out as women. So not doing that a lot of times too. Hey, I want to know what our audience thinks, right? Like, I love this question. I imagine you're going to use this question as one of your, Scott loves icebreakers. Loves icebreakers. So we're going to use this question down the line. But audience, how do you want to be remembered at your retirement party? And then I'll go on to our next question while you guys answer that. There's about a 20-second delay. So the answer is going to come in a second. I'll show them on this next round. Okay, here's the thing. First of all, can you guys believe that it is August and school has started? I mean, especially those that work in school, you're probably like, yeah, what's going on, right? It was like a crazy, crazy fast year. But we all went into 2022 going, this is the year we're going to accomplish XYZ. This is the year we're going to make it happen. The last few years have been a lot. So what I want to know is, Amy, where are you on nailing those goals? Where are you on making 2022 a year that you remember? And what else are you looking forward to accomplish at the end of this year?
I definitely think on the professional level, that probably leads to, I obtained this position during COVID. And so coming into a very community-facing position and relationship marketing and that type of thing, I was ready to be out with people in person and at events and get some business cards and like make those interactions. I love being able to connect in any way possible, but definitely in person, I missed a lot. So this year was the year that I wanted to go out, kind of push my limits, explore, attend different events with new organizations, and so far it's been really productive. I've been really productive and I'm very fruitful. I feel like there is sometimes that your bucket gets filled way high whenever you're out and about and that type of thing, and that has happened several times this year. So on a personal level, leading back to your age thing, I'm cut up on the big 40 next month. And so I know.
Wait, you weren't saying your age and you're in your 30s, Amy. We got it.
Because it's like right there on the doorstep. Like I'm almost there. I am almost there. But yeah, so on the personal level, I try to commit to more healthy habits and that kind of thing. So I've definitely been challenging myself, and I don't know if y'all have heard of 75 hard, the challenge. So I'm doing a 40 hard leading up to my 40 because I will have an adult beverage on my birthday. Right. After that, we might go with the 75, but definitely want to push myself in exploring some new, healthier habits.
Can you explain to the audience what 75 hard is?
I'll try. So basically, it is a way to challenge yourself physically and mentally to be a stronger person. And so there's a few things guidelines you have to follow. Reading 10 pages a day of a nonfiction book, which that's a stretch because I always used to say I read email. Like I read email, I don't read books. And so I'm really trying to dive back into my psychology realm and finding things that interest me that I actually want to read 10 pages a day. So I was actually reading a book about PTSD right now, actually, as we were kind of discussing that earlier, and about the Come Home project and what that project looked like. So you have to read 10 pages a day. You have to work out
Can you
twice a day.
explain what the Come Home project is?
Yeah, so it is for returning. It is for people that are suffering from PTSD that are wanting to. I don't want to say reacclimate into civilian life, but that's sort of the essence. But it involves their community around them as well, their loved ones, and that sort of thing. I'm sure Jessica has a way better explanation than I do because I'm just learning about it. But they do community building activities in order to help veterans, active duty, and those that are loved ones kind of work through that PTSD to be better and feel better and have better, stronger relationships. So yeah. So 75 hard challenge is 2 45-minute workouts a day at separate times in the day. One of them has to be outside, which was really challenging when it was so hot these last few weeks, but now it's glorious. So I'm excited. And you do a progress picture every day of yourself, which is really the biggest hurdle for me. I don't do that. And so but I didn't want to do that. And a gallon of water a day. So that's why I have my little friend here that I have to drink 4 of those a day. And so it helps you to stop making excuses, and it helps you to focus on improvement of yourself and take the time to do it, and kind of learning some of those 4D concepts you were talking about, the resiliency and the grit and that sort of thing.
So I completed it in 2020, and I will tell you, on top of losing a ton of weight, it actually just kind of makes you focus everywhere in your life. And so by the end of it, you're going to be like mad focused on everything, on business, on personal, on life, family, on all of that. And also you're going to realize the day you turn 40 that we build it up in our heads. And then the only thing that happens is we quit caring what people think. And it's a way better over on this side anyways. So.
Okay. I will look forward to it.
Awesome. Okay, Jessica, where are you on hitting those goals? And I'm sure you're reevaluating today. I always reevaluate on my birthday anyway. So where are you kind of on your 2022 year and your new year and all of that?
For me, honestly, it's surreal for me because I was never in this entrepreneurial space. I was a soldier, then I was also a military spouse. So I played both sides of the fence. So I will say that it was definitely different. I did a lot of volunteer work in my own field, in the psychology field. It was very important to me. Mental health is very important to me, which is one of the brands under my company. However, going to hit my goals this year, I have to first and foremost thank a colleague who became a friend, who became a rock, who became just steady and really pushing and motivating me and reminding me that I am worthy and that everything I am doing will pay off. So that is something super important. And I have to acknowledge her. I just believe that when you don't acknowledge people at the time that they're here, then you kind of miss the boat, and you don't want to miss the boat. So I have to acknowledge, Julie Loken. She's professionally and personally just been just something that has really pushed me to other limits. And I truly believe that I'm sitting here today with her as well, because she's pushed me to continue to get out of bed, to continue to fight, to continue to just keep moving forward. But accomplishing my goals, really, I feel like I am accomplishing them little by little. However, I do know that there's more for me to do and for me to continue to stand up and strive on being inspired action, because I believe that there's a lot of change that needs to be made personally and professionally.
Thank you for sharing.
Is this the first year of your business?
Actually, August 12th was 2 years, my
Okay.
2-year anniversary.
Nice. Well, look, you've already beat the odds, right? After year one, there's a whole bunch of businesses that don't make it. So awesome. That's exciting. I find it really interesting that there's so many people on here that are doing work in the mental health space, but also when you're an entrepreneur, that comes with its own mental health stuff. So that's really cool that you've kind of layered that under your brand too. I don't think people always know going into entrepreneurship how much of that, how lonely it is sometimes, and how that mental health stuff comes.
It is, and that's why I have, one of my brands is a video audio podcast. It's Plan D with Jessica Dalby, and it gives you, that true introspective view of, yes, I am business. That is who you know me for, but I'm also a person.
Right.
And I also suffer from stress and anxiety, and depression. And I want that to be known, because anyone can come from something to nothing and doesn't have to be kind of, defied by the odds. It's just, finding that person that does tell you you are worthy, you are heard, you are seen, and just continuing to champion on.
Gosh, I feel like we could all I could listen to you all day. I'm sure you have more stories than most people, right? Like, oh gosh. All right, Alex, how about you? I know you were talking a little bit about your company stuff, but how many employees were there when you first went there?
So there was about 120, 150 at Tradewin. We split down into 50. So there's 50 when Savion started. So 3x what we had when we started. So it's been a wild ride.
Wow.
And so where are you on both of your professional and your personal goals? Because you're kind of on a fast track professionally, which comes with its own challenges sometimes too.
Yeah, certainly. Well, as my wife will tell you, I'm a big goals guy, and probably too much of a goals guy. But maybe I'll just share a couple. First, one I'm continuing to work on is just where I'm at mental health and work-life balance wise. So, that up and up in the, the entrepreneurial endeavor, as you guys have all been a part of, as you help growing a company, it's pretty stressful. And then COVID, kind of compounds on that. And a lot of the relational side of things went away, not in the office, not networking. So that's one of the big things I've been working on this year, trying to correct my work-life balance, trying to get my mental health back where it needs to be, because that's kind of stemming to a lot of my stresses. So shout out to Isaac Collins, been doing his career coaching. He's been really helping me out immensely. So plug for him to check him out if you need some career coaching. A couple other specifics I have is at work, just helping find a clear path for what my team is supposed to be plugged in and doing. We have a bit of an entrepreneurial role within the company. It's always evolving and changing, and our business plan model just kind of completely shifted since we got underneath Shell. So making sure there's a clear defined path of what our team is doing and how our different team members fall into that. And then last, personally, was to make my first real estate investment this year, pure investment, and we successfully accomplished that on July 7th. So that was awesome news, and those are just a glimpse into a couple of my goals that I've been working on this year.
Well, Bank of Blue Valley could have funded that, but also here's a selfless plug. I mean, you're a growing organization. You have capital from Shell. What are some of the positions that you're looking for? A lot of folks with still 3.2% unemployment or 3.5%, but when you can jump from one company to a really fast growing company like yours, it's exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't even give you a list because we have so many. We got 15 plus positions out there. So feel free to reach out to me or go out to savionenergy.com and you can find all of our open careers. We got engineering to environmental to developer roles, all sorts of different roles out there. So quickly growing, feel free to reach out or check out our site. We're an awesome place to be, a lot of capital behind us and truly are one of the best places to work in Kansas City. I worked at McDonnell Gordon before Savion. They've been notoriously on the best places to work list. And in my opinion, what Savion has is even better than that. So awesome place to work and a lot going on and a lot of funding coming into our business.
Okay, so real quick, how old are you, Alex? I do have a reason for asking this.
Yeah, I guess everybody else revealed I'm 29.
Okay.
Wow.
No, I want you guys to and I don't know if you guys on the panel already put this together, but like our audience, I just want you to realize, like post-COVID, how amazing it is that a 29-year-old young man, because you're young to me, okay, comes on here and is openly talking about what he's doing for his mental health and how amazing that is, and how that's like the positive that's come out of what we've done the past couple of years. Because, you know, when I was 29, not one guy I knew would have talked about that, right? They would have been too cool and too tough. And so that is just so impressive to me. And I think that there's a lot of people that probably look up to you. And I know you look up to Isaac. Isaac's one of my best friends. So we have hours long conversations on this kind of stuff. In fact, he texted me and told me kind of all the mental stuff he went through when he broke his ankle, or the Achilles tendon, right? And stuff that he did to overcome that. And so, God, that just makes me, it probably is geeking you out too, Jason, since you do so much work in this space, right? All right. Where are you at on goals, Jason?
Yeah. So, a friend of mine said that, hey, you know, Jason, they kind of like set my goals for me. They're like, hey, you know what? A bonsai tree grows like, you know, 5 feet the first 4 years of its life, and then grows 60 feet the next in like 1 year. So I'm saying I'm like in year 4 of being that bonsai tree. So I think like the next year I'm going to go from like 5 feet to 80 feet. So I'm really like on the cusp of a lot of things, especially in the space that's going to help a lot of people in mental health, sports, youth, you name it. So personally, though, I have a goal of touching my heels to the ground while I'm doing a downward dog for yoga, and I'm meeting that. And I've never been the most flexible person. I'm just going to be completely honest. But I've been going to stretch zones. So I've been investing in my flexibility. I'm 37, but
thank you. That's a requirement of today's show.
As I get closer to 40 and I have kids that are 6 and 3, I'm like, I got to make sure I can move and groove, because my 2 sons, they are go. So I got to make sure I can go with them. So I've been really focusing on flexibility, and then just also keeping myself strong to stay up with them.
So right before that bonsai pops, this is what I hear from every entrepreneur and in my own life, it gets really hard. It's almost like the universe tests you to make sure right before it pops. And there's something I've done some research, or not some research, but seen some different research. I haven't done the research. I don't have research, but seen different videos of research of where even the ground on that bonsai changes right before it pops. And so that's I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, no, it's like, you're right. But it's almost like, hey, you know what? How bad do you really want this, right? And then it's like, well, you know, it's one day at a time. You keep working at it, and then now I've been working my full-time job as well too. So I'm building everything on the side, keeping my teaching and that kind of, because it's all connects. So, I just having the faith and belief that eventually, hey, it'll happen, and it'll be on God's time when it does.
What does that 80-foot bonsai, what does that look like to you? Is that a program? Is that a business? Like, what does that look like? So we know.
Great question for everyone.
Yeah.
For me personally, yeah, it's like we have a goal by 2030 to transform 100 million lives worldwide. And then my life mission is to have like suicide, depression, and anxiety be irrelevant in our society.
What do you think about this? And I can't remember the number, and I'll be honest with you, I'm on a lot of meds still. But the number, is it 988? Is that what it is?
988, yeah. It's the new it's the 911 for mental health. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That seems pretty cool, right? That kind of seems like part of your bonsai.
Yeah, it's really cool, because it was like an 8-digit number before that, and in our society, like, who does 8 digits anymore, right? So I mean, so the fact that it's 3 and they're right next to each other is awesome, so that's a big thing in mental health in general. And it's something that, like Alex, he talked about his mental health, and I think it's important that as men we share, like, your struggles, but you're also working on it, and you also realize that it's important, so, and having kids will teach you what you need to work on. And I know I've worked on my emotional intelligence, because I was like, holy cow, kids will teach you so much about, like, how do I stay calm so I can get them to calm from because they got a whole bunch of things going on with them as they grow up. So kids can teach you a lot.
Oh, wait till they're 15. It's real fun learning over here. Okay. Morgan says, this is how she wants to be remembered: hardworking, passionate, an advocate, genuine, a great mentor, and mother. Ooh, good job, Morgan. Athena says she is proud of you, Jessica. And Rebecca, I think, is talking to everybody. Thanks for being so open and doing this. All right, guys, I'm gonna do it. I hate to do it. Y'all know I hate this part of the show, but we've got
But
10
Aaron, I thought you asked a great, what does that 80-foot bonsai look like? Because
Yeah.
I can do a quick icebreaker, but you're on fire, Aaron.
You
with
want to
great
ask that to
questions.
everyone? Okay, so look, guys. Grace didn't know about 988. That's a great takeaway. Yes, Grace, tell everybody. As a marketing person, I do not think they're marketing it to their best ability, right? So if you know people, tell them. I think it's an amazing thing. All right, let's ask that really quick. We got 10 minutes, so everybody give me a couple minutes. Let's just keep going in order. Amy, what is your ultimate, like you are living your dream life, your 80-foot bonsai? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Leading back to Morgan's comment, I do want to be a good mother. I'm almost 40 with some littles too, so 8 and 5. And I've always said I wanted to raise my daughter to be nicer than me, because I'm pretty nice out here, but in here, those words are sometimes juggling around. So I do want to grow some good citizens that are going to go out and help the world as well. And I would love, oh my goodness, if mental health issues would disappear for everyone. And in my work in education, I know, people talk about college being expensive, but it truly is an investment in yourself. And it is a lot of the times a deal changer for people in their lives. If they pursue any kind of additional training to get better jobs, that improves their economic life, that improves their family life. And that gets us to a point of hopefully less poverty and less struggling for a lot of people. So that would be the ultimate. I don't know that I can do all of those things. That would just be the ultimate. So
nice. All right, Jessica.
For me, honestly, I know it'll, for hundreds of years, the stigma's there, but to eradicate the stigma would be a big thing. That would be a big thing for me, to where you are able enough and comfortable enough to speak about mental health or to speak about social injustice and to be inclusive, because that's what I pride myself on. That's what my platforms show. It shows inclusivity. It shows that there is no stigma, no stereotype. We're all one person. Doesn't matter. So that would be for me a big thing. That would be personally and professionally, because I want my kids definitely always to know that mom did it right. Mom did it with her heart, with her morals, and she left it all on the court.
And Jessica and I were talking a little bit offline beforehand, is you do a lot of work in the DE&I space. And I thought I had done a lot, but I've never really taken in the ADA compliance piece or the disability piece, and not being able to walk has really opened my eyes. And we both were like, yeah, we need to do more work in that space too. We need to get more people to do more work. Just walk down your sidewalk. My challenge is you guys walk down your sidewalk, no matter what part of the city you live in, and think, could a wheelchair go down that? And I'll tell you, in Overland Park, the answer is no. So Jessica and I were already kind of chatting about that beforehand. All right, Alex, how about you?
Yeah, you mind restating the question for me? Sorry.
What's your 80-foot bonsai?
Yeah, all right. So my 80-foot bonsai would be two things. Personal would be to start a family. You guys are all talking about how your family adjusts your goals and your perspective on life. So that's a big one for me. And then professionally, to start my own renewable energy and or real estate company. That's really what I'm passionate about in the long run. So figuring out how to do that, but at the same time to be a loving father and husband at the same time.
I love that. All right, I'm going to do it now. First of all, Amy, you have a compliment right here. You've been awesome since I've known you. I've learned a lot from you, Dr. Carla Mabane. I hope I did your name justice. All right, Scott's favorite thing, no matter where you are, is to do an icebreaker. And so they're cheesy, they're silly. I hate them, but we've got 7 minutes left. So Scott, I'm going to let 6 minutes. I'm going to let you do an icebreaker. You're welcome.
So since Aaron's asking so many great questions, I'm going to go ahead and steal from Aaron and continue the trend with a guy named Michael Keenan. He is a attorney at creative planning, and he always asks, if you could say one thing that is precious to you, or you can't ever replace, and you can't say time or family, what is the one thing that is irreplaceable to you, Amy, that you think is the best thing ever, and you can't say time or family?
I'll say a version of it. People. I love people. I love people. I love helping people, being with people. I do like my alone time, but for the most part, I am definitely a people person.
So, Jessica, if there's one thing that you can't put a price on, and it's not family, and it's not time, what is it that you can't put a price on?
My morals and values.
All right. So we'll go with you, Alex, next. What is one thing you can't put a price on?
Yeah, I think self-motivation and confidence. There's so much that we can all accomplish, and we have so many different skills. And half the battle is usually just believing in yourself and knowing that you can do it and make a difference. And I think that's been invaluable in my life, and seeing how it's made an impact on so many around me as well.
All right, audience, feel free to chime in. We'll see it like 2 minutes later. But Jason, what is one thing that you cannot put a price on?
Being content and joyful within, because everything inward is always expressed outward. So, if everything is all good inwardly, then everything else will work itself out. So I would say joy and faith. Okay.
And then, Jason, one other thing, since you're in the sports profession, I always feel like a huge trend is believing in something greater than yourself and getting your team to buy into it. How long has that kind of been something, everyone talks about purpose with their organization, but in sports, it seems to be huge, and specifically in the Midwest due to the KU winning the national championship and people
That's the only
following their
reason.
breath. Well, no, I think people catch on to it when they're around it and they know that secret, just like company culture. People talk culture. But I think when you can get people to buy into a mission that's bigger than themselves, is that something that's always been a part of your coaching?
Yeah, I think it's having great leaders as well that will inspire people, that that get people to buy in as well is key. Like if you have people that care about others, like mentality, like I don't know if y'all have heard the platinum rule, but treat others how they really want to be treated. So that means like getting to know them, like understanding them, coaching them individually, like working with them. That's how you get people to buy in. If people feel cared about. There's a great quote that we use in education and sports, and that's people don't care what you know until they know that you care, right? And then so I think that's invaluable as well. Like great leadership will take teams or organizations farther than anything else will.
Aaron, if you can say one thing you can't put a price on, and you can't say family or time, what is it that you can't put a price on?
Well, I have two. One, the past 3 weeks, I've realized how much my friends step up, because I don't have the largest family in the world. So my friends have stepped up so much. But also, I think my ability to not understand boundaries is something that's really important to me, because it just keeps me going no matter what. And I'm realizing that even more right now. How about you, Scott?
Man, I like the boundaries thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, don't talk to Aaron Fulk unless you want a real answer,
Right? Once again, my no boundaries. Like, here's the deal. How about you, Scott? I got to get your answer because I got a lot of comments I got to hit up.
Reading people. I think you can. I'm lucky on being dyslexic. I kind of got to get a gut read, because I don't know what's on the paper, but I can read a face.
Okay, look. I was a little concerned earlier because I can see how many people are watching the show across, but nobody was leaving comments. And I'm like, one time we had a thing when our comments were broken. I was like, I hope this isn't the show. This is not the show where the comments are broken, right? It just took everybody a minute to warm up. So Alex said she agrees with Carla. Amy's been an amazing connection for her as well. Ezzy says this was an incredible panel. I could not agree more, Ezzy. Crown and Compass, we got people on YouTube. This is a great conversation, and they love Jessica with the hard eyes and everything. Teamwork and collaboration is what Dr. Carla believes is very important to her. Work ethic and genuinely motivating all. On Athena, yes. Athena, change your privacy settings so we can see your picture. Morgan says, support system. I agree. And last but certainly not least, another happy birthday to, they're going to call you Jess, so you must know them. I'm going to call you Jessica because you haven't given me that either. We want to thank Burns and McDonnell and Bank Blue Valley so much I will tell you, all of our panelists are tagged over on LinkedIn. So if you want to connect with them and do business with them, get to know them, love them. I already love all of them. First time I'm meeting them, go connect with them on LinkedIn. Thank you guys so much for being on here. I really, really appreciate it. Scott, thanks for being here with me, buddy. All right. We will see you same time, same place, same platforms next week at 3:00 on Tuesday. Bye, guys. Thank you.